Okay, so that makes me wonder, like, I had a conversation with my wife the other day, and I was telling her how much like I hated the Queen, and she's like, I didn't say I hated the Queen, but I was like, you know what? Like, what do these people do?
A
Like,
concept.
yeah. And
Mhm.
my words to her were something like, this person was given everything, like literally given everything. And
What
when
did
they
you do
look,
with it?
yeah. And then when I look back at the accomplishments that people were saying, is like, well, she was the longest living monarch. And she was one of the richest monarchs. And on top of that, her face is on the most money. And like,
Mhm.
it just made me so disgusted
Mhm.
and maybe jealous. Cause like, I'm like, fuck, no
Oh,
one gave me that. No one gave me that. You know what I could do with that? I could make the world better with that. And like, but no one gave it to me. So I felt like this anger. And even at
but if it
Zuckerberg
but if it was given to you, you wouldn't be able to make the same decisions you have thinking about it in the context that you're thinking about it.
yeah,
That's it's an interesting thing. It goes back to our conversation on
okay.
Sunday. What would you change about your life? If you could, I wouldn't change anything because I wouldn't be this guy.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this guy. I've made my peace with a lot of life. I've found joy. I have found happiness. Um, so you're going to be very hard pressed to change anything, even my most deplorable acts in life. But if I was just given everything, I would have never, made the same decisions. I would have never been in many of the same environments to make those decisions. And eventually, you get to the nurture nature aspect of this, right?
Yeah.
If you're born into this environment of royalty, you're in this position, you're you're going to be disconnected from any the aspect of someone who has to struggle through life to go off and they don't know where they're going to get their next meal. Sometimes you've never had that experience. There's no way you can understand what that person's thought process is, what they're willing to do to get that meal, especially if it's not for them, it's for the child. And then yet you will be the quickest to condemn them for that action. And so there's in this kind of goes back to the conversation of equality of opportunity.
Hmm.
And I think when you enable the equality of opportunity, that's one of the mechanisms that you can utilize to provide a foundation for people to find the path for themselves. But if you thrust people into these trust fund kids and these, old family monies, they're never, and this is why a lot of them end up suicidal or just pieces of shit in the world, is because they never have that perspective. They never will. Even if they decided to run away from their family and try to go live in a foreign country with no money, eventually they know somebody will come pick them up if they pick up a phone. It's not the same thing. It's very different when you have nobody to call, right? Like
Yeah.
I can't go call my mother right now, and I'm not going to get money today. There's not going to be food unless I figure something out. And in figuring those things out, in those hardships, that's what that perseverance breeds personality. It breeds our ability to understand these situations, not just in ourselves, but in others, right? And that breeds empathy. You don't get that when you're just thrust into these things.
That's really well put, man. Well done. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.